and welcome to the Encore Offstage podcast. This is a conversational podcast where we talk all things theatre. I'm Lucy GAZZARD.
I'm Ben Bradley.
And I'm Adam Guest. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome back, everybody.
How's everyone doing this week?
I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
just
good.
currently feeding tea to my dog. Other than that, all is good.
Always good.
Always good. But no, all is fine. All is dandy. I look like I'm in the podcast cupboard.
I think you are.
I am in the podcast cupboard. That's
We-
why I just wanted to distract him for a second.
We've left him in there this week. He's not been released, so he won't be locked back in at the end. He's just going to stay in there.
He's now got a teapot and kettle in there. He's fine.
Yeah, I was going to say, Amazon can send some wonderful things out by quick delivery. Great.
Yeah. Absolutely. Not sponsored, but moving on very swiftly from that. This week I am bringing you an interview with Rowan Nix of Bear Left Theatre Company. Adam, what are you bringing us this week?
I'm bringing you a topic this week. I thought, in light of everything that's been going on with El Lockie Downio, I wanted to discuss some of the different ways of presenting media and theatre and theatrical productions, and see and just have a chat about that. Really.
Ooh, sounds really exciting. And Lucy, let's start with you. What are you bringing us this week?
Well, I am bringing you both a quiz this week.
More
Yeah.
me versus Adam.
And the theme for this week is musicals with female leads.
Ooh, okay.
So what I want you to do is I'm going to describe the person from the musical, and you've got to give me the name of that female lead.
Okay.
The character.
Additional points if you can give me the musical.
Oh, blimey. Right.
Okay.
So can we test our buzzers out? Is that all right?
Yes.
Yes. What buzzer, Adam? We'll start with your buzzer. What
You
have
want my buzzer? There's my buzzer. I got a turkey.
He's got a turkey. And we've got a budget this week, and I have.
Excellent. Excellent indeed. So, shall we start then?
Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm just tapping my turkey. I'm ready. There we are. I'm good.
So, first question. This gal hails from the Upper Uplands and was a student at Shiz University. Yes, Adam.
Is it Galinda from Wicked?
Yes, it is.
Yay.
Good
I'm going to
stuff.
get you, Ben. I'm going to get you. All right.
I think you might do this week, you know.
Well. It's time yet. My turkey might fall asleep.
Okey-doke. Are you ready for question number 2?
I am. I'm game.
Okey-doke.
Go on then.
So, originally a nun from Switzerland, Ben.
Is that Maria from The Sound of Music?
It is indeed Maria from the Sound.
You know, that was quick.
I know.
Just hear the word nun, and I'm like, Maria! That's the show that I know well.
Go on, then. We're
Okey-doke.
pegging now.
Question number 3. Part of a jazz duo, but imprisoned for murdering her sister and husband. Yes, Adam. It was Adam first.
It's Velma Kelly from Chicago.
It is indeed Velma Kelly from Chicago.
I don't know why, but I first went to Mungo, Jerry and Rumpelteazer from Cats. Don't know why.
Start for Cats, isn't it?
I was like, jazz duo. I'm like, no, it's not.
Cats duo. Murdered her husband and sister.
That was the point where, oh no, it's Chicago. And then I saw.
And you know what, though? I probably would have given you like a bonus point just for making me laugh.
Creativity, yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'll do. I'll answer all this quiz with the really bad wrong answers and get all the points. That's what I'll do.
Okay.
Okey-doke. So, question number 3.
4.
4, yeah.
4. Let's try that again.
Let's try that again.
Okay. Question number 4. Wife of Argentine President Juan Perón. Yes, Ben.
Oh God. Vita? No, not Vita.
That's the musical.
What's the character called? Sugar. What's she called? I don't know.
Adam, I'm passing over to you.
It's Eva Perón from.
Yes. Adam, you've managed to steal a point from Ben there. Well,
Do I not get my point for musical to get the musical right?
did, yes.
No.
The point for review.
Oh, split.
So that question didn't mean anything then, because we're still the same as we were before. Just saying.
I'll get you, Ben. I will get you.
I'll get you, Adam.
I'll set my turkey on you.
I've got my posh buzzer now to go away.
Adam is currently in the lead. Because
What?
Yeah.
This is not allowed.
Yeah, you know why that worked, Ben? Because I got more answers right than you.
Oh, yeah. Shush.
Okie doke.
The
Next
show doesn't need you, Adam.
question. Are you both ready?
Yeah, I am now.
So, overweight 16-year-old who dreams of dancing. Yes, Adam.
It's Tracy Turnblad from Hairspray.
Yes,
Of course
it
it
is. Well done. Next question.
Okay.
Famous for the worst pies in London and counterpart. Yes, Adam.
If I don't get this right, then I'm going to go. Mrs. Lovett from Sweeney Todd.
That is correct. Well done. You might need to turn your turkey up a bit. He's gone
That's
there.
as loud as he'll go. He's a bit shy. He's very shy. Come on, Terence. A bit louder. Come on. Yeah, there we are. I'll have to do. Yeah. Come on, Terence. Come on.
Okay, next question. You need to step up your game here, Ben. He's crushing you right now.
Ben. Yeah, Ben. What's that about?
It's like being bullied in school again.
So, next question. This leading lady has a plant named after her in this musical. Yes, Adam.
It would be Audrey in Little Shop of Horrors.
That is correct. One of the best musicals by Alan
One
Menken.
of the best musicals ever.
I've never seen it.
Oh!
There we go. That
So
will
good.
set
Mind you, to be fair, you are like 5, so it's fine.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank
It
you.
would scare you.
It's so good.
It would scare. Right. Okay.
It would scare you, yeah.
Yeah.
It scared me when I was little.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, are we both ready?
Well, yeah, we are absolutely ready to go. Google is ready.
Yeah, there's a lot of fighting words.
Known for her carpet bag and yes, Ben.
Mary Poppins. Mary Poppins.
Yes.
Yeah, Mary Poppins from that show.
Do I get 2 points for that? For getting the music and the character?
Oh, come on. Come on. Mary Poppins
That's the
from
rules.
what? From Bed Knobs and Broomsticks?
That's a point. That's coming. Isn't
It
it?
is.
The new
It
musical
is
is
coming to
premiering in
musical.
our town.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Maybe we'll have to go and do a podcast review trip.
Ah, yeah, when we can get outside, yeah.
We need to start thinking about doing them. Right.
Right,
Carry on.
the next one.
Go on, I'm ready. I'm ready. Come on, Terence.
Daughter of a famous French violinist. Originally a chorus. Yes, Adam.
It would be Christine Daae from Phantom of the Opera.
It is in Christine Daae from Phantom of the Opera.
I don't know my
I
musicals.
mean, I don't really think we need a tiebreaker at this point, so I'm just going to do the last question.
Yeah, why is that, Ben? Why would that be? Why do you think that would be?
I'll spike my little umbrella at you.
Oh, good. Yeah. Oh, look, pokey umbrella. Yeah, okay, go on then.
Magical straw.
So, final question. Are we both
Pops.
ready? Ben's at war now.
Yeah,
This is
I'm
our-
ready. I'm
this is
ready.
our
I don't know
budget
about-
now.
I don't know about Ben, but I'm ready.
No, I am ready. The buzzer is ready.
Or do you want to go again, Ben, and I'll just wait for you to answer the question?
Okay, so final question.
And then
She left the Pride in search of food under the reign of Scar. Ends joining the Pride. Yes, that was Adam first.
it would be Nala from The Lion King.
Yes, indeed. It was Nala from The
I
Lion
could not
King.
remember her name. I had to think and think and think.
Mrs. Simba.
Sorry?
Mrs. Simba.
Yes.
And
That's a great-
I'm just gonna tally up the scores there. So
Yeah. Let's take your time.
Do it really nice to tell you just to dig the knife in a little bit further.
No, it's fine. You know what? Let Lucy do her job. It's fine.
okie doke. So
Considering also the fact that Ben was like, point all about saying, oh yeah, I'm currently beating Adam at the minute at these quizzes. It's like, yeah, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to pull a little bit back. I'm just going to savour this as much as I can.
If you
You're
haven't,
falling back now, and this is a bit embarrassing for you, Ben, I have to say. So, Ben, you got 2 full
oh God, that was awful.
half points. Adam, on the other hand, got 7 full questions and stole a point from you. So Adam is the reigning champion of the quiz this week. Well done.
Hell. I'm
I
gonna
was
see if
I'd even put a tiebreaker in there. That was
I think Adam had help. I think he had help from
Thank
Terence.
you.
I
Thank
think
you very much.
Terence is a
Thank you.
musical theatre bird.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
he's a musical turkey.
Yeah,
He's a turkey,
absolutely.
he's not. He's Terence. Look, I can't blame Terence if he's quick off the mark. All I need to do, if I just give him a poke, he'll just go gobble.
Turkey sounds at the Encore Offstage podcast. Well, thank you very much. Oh, good. That was a good
Adam
quiz.
more so than Ben.
Oh. I really want this to stay in, so I'm going to carry on. Well, thank you, Lucy, for that fantastic quiz. I've completely forgotten where we go next. Tell you what, we'll take a bit of a break, and we're going to catch up with Rowan Nix, who I chatted to a couple of weeks ago from Bear Left Theatre Company, and this is what happened then. So, Rowan, thank you so much for joining us this week on the podcast. It's great to have you here.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's great fun.
So, you're known for being a writer, an actor, and running your own theatre company. Is there anything you can't do?
Yeah, I'm awful at DIY.
Okay, that's a good start. That's a good start. All for the DIY. So when you're building sets, don't come to you.
No, please don't. I'd break it.
Yeah. So give us a bit more of a picture about you then, with all these different strings to a bow.
Oh, gosh. Well, I've done drama throughout my whole life. Sort of got into it at school and then just sort of fell into it really after that because I couldn't think of anything else that I'd rather do. I nearly went into science, actually.
Okay, wow. That's a very different career path.
Yeah. Yes. And the one thing that turned me off was that the first module in the A-level was exactly the same as what I'd just been doing for weeks in GCSE.
Yeah. So,
and I didn't want to do it again.
No, that makes sense. So that was the only reason why now we have you as an actor.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So that's sort of the background. Is that where it started? It came from just a love at school, and then you just carried it on.
Yeah. I took a general drama degree rather than an acting course because I wasn't sure what area of theatre I wanted to go into.
Okay.
So I got to do a bit of directing, a bit of lighting design, a bit of production company. So that was learning how to run your own production company. All sorts of things, Shakespeare, radio drama. It was great fun. We did all sorts of things. So
you've got this really diverse knowledge, which is what allows you to what you can pull on now. And I know you've got a very big love of Shakespeare. That's one thing that I gathered that. So is there any reason why you love it? Why did you fall into it, if you describe it?
Oh, I'm really not sure. I used to love sort of pretending, putting on shows. I was a dancer first. And I found that I wanted to tell the story with the dancing.
Yeah.
Which was a struggle because I was in one of those dance schools where it's all very sort of, if you're doing tap, it's all very time steppy, and ballet was all tutus and not. We didn't have much of a drama side. It was very much dance.
Yeah.
But I really wanted to tell the story with stuff, so I found that I was interested in that, and then I ended up. I genuinely can't even remember why I chose to do GCSE drama, but I did. Just one of those. Yeah, I suppose it's one of those sort of crossroads where if you just took that path and now you're here. So I suppose bringing us into more recent years, what made you start Bear Left, and how did that sort of come about? That was actually entirely sort of by accident, really. What I did was I wanted to put on a show with friends, because I had a kind of idea to do a sort of Robin Hood play with my local Nottingham friends. So I sort of put a call out on my Facebook. Any friends want to do a show with me? We're going to make it up. It's just going to be one-off. So I came up with the name randomly, Bear Left Theatre Company, just for like Kickstarter and marketing and stuff like that. But then people loved it, and they were like, "Oh yeah, you should carry on with this." So I did.
So it's just another complete accident. That's fascinating, actually, to have all these different sort of unintentional choices that have led you to be where you are now.
Yeah.
So how many shows have Bear Left done now?
Oh gosh. Let's see. Well, we were amateur for a few years, and then we incorporated 2 years ago now. Yeah, about 2 years ago. Actually, oh no, not quite. We're nearly at the 2-year mark, actually.
Goodness.
For being a professional company. So let's see, we did 2 Robin Hood based shows. We did a Sardine Shakespeare, which was like an amalgamation of all sorts of different scenes put together, which was quite fun. We did the Scottish play. And I have a feeling we did something else as well. There was a few that nearly got going, but then for one reason or another didn't happen. But then since we became professional, we've done 3 full shows. So we've done Much Ado, we did an adaptation of Jekyll and Hyde, and we did another kind of Sardine Shakespeare. It was in last February, just before lockdown actually, about a month before. And that was, again, all sorts of Shakespeare scenes, and we put them together. And they were all about relationships, all about people who are in relationships. So we sort of marketed it that way. But
So just the light stuff then, nothing too heavy. Just
nothing too heavy.
Shakespeare and oh god, couldn't deal with it. So have you got, what is the most notable show that you've worked on then? What do you think has been one of your sort of crowning achievements?
I think it will probably have to be the very first show I ever did with Bear Left, which was the first Robin Hood.
Yeah.
Because everyone loved it, and it completely took me aback. Because the way it happened, I was aiming for it to be a devised piece, so that we had a rough sort of storyline and we knew how each scene roughly wanted to go. But I was aiming for sort of the actors and myself as director, and I was acting in it as well, just because. And so I wanted it to be sort of organic, that we'd sort of experiment with different ways of doing the scenes, and then we'd sort of naturally settle into it through improvisation.
Yeah.
Did not happen like that. I ended up having to write the whole thing.
Right.
So it's the first show I ever wrote as well.
Yeah.
And everyone loved it. We got amazing feedback from all the audience members and the critics that came to see it. We even had a few people who didn't know anyone in it, who'd just seen the posters and come to see it.
Oh, that's fantastic.
The idea
actually.
was good. And that's got to be my moment, I think, that it really just was awesome.
So in terms of a more general stage career, what's been your favourite experience on the stage?
Gosh, on the stage? I don't know. There's been so many good moments, interesting moments. I think maybe my favourite moment is actually a mishap.
Okay, yeah. Pray tell.
When
We love our mishaps on this show. We love them.
When we were doing the Scottish play a couple of years ago, I nearly missed an entrance.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Dear. Yeah, okay.
But what happened, I turned it into a kind of, because I was playing Banquo.
Yeah.
It was a scene where Macbeth and Banquo meet the king right near the start. And I had just a kind of a brain fart and completely forgot that I was in this scene. And suddenly realised about 2 minutes in when Macbeth was talking to the king. And I was like, oh crap, I need to be on. So I sort of blagged it that Banquo had just been to the loo and sort of was catching them up afterwards.
Did you improvise Shakespeare?
I didn't have any lines, so I was fine.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say, if you managed to improvise Shakespeare, that was going to be top of the list.
Oh gosh, no. I reckon I might be able to, but no, not at that point.
So with you then, Shakespeare is such a massive part of your life. I'm going to ask you to pick between children here. What's your favourite Shakespeare play?
Oh,
And why?
that is such a hard choice. I think it's probably a stereotypical choice, but I'm gonna have to go with Hamlet.
Okay, yeah.
Because just there's so much emotional depth in there, and it's so real as well. And then you've got fights, and what I love about Hamlet is something. The main character gets kidnapped by pirates, and it's not even a main plot point.
Of course, just that random side thing that happens. Yeah.
And so it's such a big scope of a play, but it's also so personal because it's about this relatively young man. I think he's 30 or something by the time he meets the gravediggers in what is usually the second half. And it's him coping with the loss of his father and the fact that his mother's just married his uncle. And then on top of that, his father, or someone he thinks is his father, telling him that he was murdered.
Yeah.
And then having to cope with that. And all of that. And it's funny as well. This is the thing that a lot of people don't get, that Shakespeare is absolutely hilarious. I mean, his two best friends, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, when they first meet Hamlet, they joke about women.
Yeah.
And women's private parts. And it's just banter with the lads.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, hang on, how old is this?
Yeah. It's that sort of ahead of its time thing with Shakespeare. Yeah. Yeah,
absolutely. But for me, Shakespeare is, if you get past the sort of flowery language, it's just so real. These are really real characters that you see in their lives on stage, and that for me is just something so special.
So I suppose with that, are there any shows that you really want to produce, to create? Any shows that you've got a passion for that you haven't been able to do yet that might be in the future?
My aim eventually is to do the entire canon of Shakespeare plays.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's going to take me probably a couple of decades.
Yeah.
At least. But that is something that I would love to do. But no, actually the next one is the Henry plays. Like the history cycle. I really want to do them, especially Henry IV parts 1 and 2, because I love Falstaff.
Yeah.
Falstaff is just an amazing character. For those of you that don't know, I mean, I don't know how well known he is, because he's more known as a type. He's this fat old knight who is incredibly lazy, is basically a criminal in the Henry IV plays because he's a thief. He borrows money faster than he can spend it. He spends all his money on wine and food.
Yeah.
And women.
Of course. Yeah. Okay. Of course.
And that is his life. That is all he is. And the funny thing is, in the Henry IV plays, he's the mentor to Prince Henry, who becomes Henry V.
Yeah. That's okay. That quite explains a lot about Henry V. But yeah.
But just their relationship, it's so funny. Like, there's one scene in Henry IV Part 1 where you first meet Prince Hal, as he's known, and Falstaff. And Falstaff is like, you know what, I'm going to give it all up. I'm going to give up the women. I'm going to give up the drink. I'm going to give up this thievery. I'm going to be an honest Christian. No more stealing. That's it. And then Hal says, okay, so where are we going to steal something tomorrow, Jack? And his immediate response, Falstaff says, oh, wherever you will, I'll be one.
Brilliant. Oh,
and it's
yeah.
Yeah, see, I can see.
No, I love it.
Now.
You know what? You have.
Fun.
And just listening to you talking about Shakespeare, there's such an energy coming off you. You just sort of infuses. It's part of you, I think. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I actually have had people say that before.
Yeah, absolutely. So, it's March. Are you working on anything at the moment? Or
well,
have you been working on anything?
We're kind of playing things by ear. We were going to be doing a slightly adapted version of Jekyll and Hyde for lockdown. We were going to do it last November. But obviously things happened and we went into another lockdown just before Christmas. So we couldn't quite manage it. So we are looking at doing that again sometime soon. Hopefully before summer.
Yeah.
But it really does depend on how things are and whether we eventually decide whether we'll get an audience, because we can live stream it, but it misses something.
Yeah, it's not the same. You haven't got that atmosphere of other people to play other people, for your actors and for the audience as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask, in terms of your writing, because you write an awful lot of things. I've read some of your scripts and I love them.
Oh, thank you.
Is there anything in the pipeline in terms of writing? Anything you've finished or anything you're working on you can give us a little sneak preview of?
Oh gosh. Yeah, maybe. So during lockdowns, plural, I've been doing obviously a lot more writing because there's not a lot else to do. So I've actually been branching out into television and film scripts.
Ooh.
And I'm partway through sort of doing the editing of a Robin Hood film.
Ooh.
Which is fairly exciting.
Really exciting.
Yeah. And we're talking sort of the good old-fashioned Robin Hood films. Think sort of Errol Flynn type, swashbuckling type stuff, which is going to be great fun if it ever gets done. In terms of theatre writing, I'm looking at adapting Dracula next, which should be quite fun.
That would sound fantastic. Having read your Robin Hood scripts, I think, if you took on Dracula, that would be fantastic.
And actually, there's an original idea as well that I'm partway through working on. And I've got the title.
Okay.
And I've got the rough premise. It's about a man in the 1930s-ish, sort of that era, who's a playwright. And he's trying to work on his magnum opus about the Greek gods.
Right, yeah.
And how they compare theologically and all that kind of thing to the Roman gods. Yeah. And he's very intellectual like that. Except he keeps getting interrupted by the, I'm going to give it away here, but it's going to be hilarious, by the Greek gods themselves.
Okay.
Who each come in and try and tell him how to write it. And that it should be all about them. And in the midst of that, he also has his co-writer.
Yeah.
And then his parents, who don't think he should be a writer in the first place.
Right.
And the cleaner, who is just messing everything up. And it's just a complete farce.
That sounds absolutely fantastic. That is such a cool concept. I really hope that properly comes to fruition. Because that would be great.
Yeah, I'm working through that at the minute. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it should be ready by end of the year, maybe.
Ooh. So you've kind of started to answer my next question, but I'm interested in how has we hate to ask this question, but we kind of have to now. How has COVID affected you in terms of theatre, in terms of writing, in terms of Bear Left? Yeah. What impact have you felt from that?
Yeah, well, the theatre company's really much stopped, to be honest. Because I'm very much a live theatre person, so adapting things to go on the internet doesn't come naturally to me. I much prefer being in a theatre with an audience.
Yeah.
So, and actually Bear Left is in a fairly lucky position. We have no outstanding costs. So it's just me and the other co-director who don't take a wage. And we have no premises, we have no storage facilities that we need to pay for constantly.
Yeah.
So we have actually been able to literally just pause and wait.
Okay.
So it's hard because we want to be doing things. But although we've had to stop, we've not had to completely shut down the business. So we're actually very lucky in that way. So actually for me personally, it's been a little bit of a bonus because I've managed to do more writing.
Yeah.
Do a bit more research, get into sort of things that I've missed out on for being too busy and all that kind of thing. So yeah, it's been a bit of a mixed bag overall. I'm missing theatre. I'm missing seeing people so much.
Of course.
So much.
Yeah, we've not actually met in person. We've just met through doing various things via Zoom over the past year. So I'm like, There's so many people as well who I've just not met at all yet because of having to be in this situation.
Yeah.
So in terms of being, well, I suppose running a theatre company and being a writer, what are the downsides to both of those professions, would you say? If there are any.
It takes a long time to start to earn anything from it unless you're very, very lucky.
Okay. Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm personally lucky because my parents are supporting me through this, and because I've personally had problems with my mental health, so I've not been able to go out and get a 9-to-5 job, as it were, to pay the bills. So, thankfully, I've been supported and I've been able to carry on with theatre. And now I've completely forgotten the question.
Are there any downsides to
downsides, yeah.
Downsides, yes. Don't worry.
Yeah, so there's that. And there's kind of a flip side, because every time you do a show, you get a new family.
Mm.
You get to meet these people and you're seeing them, particularly in a professional production where you're seeing them all day, every day.
Yeah.
For over a week, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, depending on the show. So they really do become family to you, and then it ends.
Yeah.
And you don't really see them anymore because they go off to do other projects. So there's a lot of that kind of things. And then obviously you have to go through all the feedback of reviews and all that kind of thing. So you have to have a thick skin because you have to be able to take criticism. And then some people are just not going to like what you do no matter what. Because here's the thing, you can't please everyone.
No.
And theatre is very subjective, so whatever you do, someone's not going to like it. You just have to have faith in what you do.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, that's fascinating. Thank you. And so a bit more of an optimistic look now. What does the future hold for yourself? What does the future hold for the company? Where can you see yourself going? All being well.
All being well. We'll be getting back into live theatre productions before the end of the year. So fingers crossed for that.
Absolutely.
So that will be something that we're looking forward to. Also with the company, we're looking at possibly doing more workshops and getting more of the community involved. Yeah. We're actually exploring at the minute. We might be on the edge of actually taking a plunge. Becoming a CIC rather than a limited company. Yeah. So a community interest, so we can sort of give more opportunities to the community. So that is sort of our year in general. For me personally, it's just going to be sort of writing things, putting the work out there, seeing if anyone wants to produce it. Probably producing the odd thing myself with my company if it's suitable. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, so a really hopefully quite an optimistic and really positive next few steps for you, for both you and for the company. So that sounds really, really exciting. And just before we wrap up, where can people find yourself and Bear Left if they would like to, if they listen to this and are interested in following you further? Where can they find you?
Well, I'll start with me personally. I'm on Instagram, Nix Rowan. Just because I felt like swapping them around.
Of course.
I have my own website as well, which is rowannix.co.uk. Actually, my gosh, it's been so long since I've been on it. I can't remember the name of it. It's either Rowan Nix or Rowan Nix Theatricals.
Okay. Either way,
just search Rowan Nix on Google.
We'll link it.
I'll turn up.
Yeah.
And then for Bear Left, we are on Twitter. Again, search Bear Left Theatre Company. Facebook, Instagram, and we have our own website, bearlefttheatrecompany.co.uk, where we have a up-to-date sort of what's coming up next section. We post on Twitter, Instagram. We keep ourselves up to date on Facebook as well.
Brilliant. Well, all of those should be in the description, hopefully, if I remember when I put it up. I'm sure I will. He says, don't hold me to that, please. But seriously, thank you so much for coming on and chatting to us. It's a pleasure to see you as always.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, thank you so much, Rowan, for chatting to us and Bear Left Theatre Company. You can check out all the information about them in the description down below. And finally this week, now he has regained his composure, we're going to hand over to Mr. Guest. What have you got for us this week, Adam?
Well, I thought in light of the current lockdown and everything else, obviously live theatre. You're right, Ben. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought in live theatre currently is a little bit out of the window. So, over the past, well, let's be honest, a year, there's been various different ways that people have found to entertain and put new stuff out there, and using technology, because we mentioned on the last podcast about technology and things, and it seems to be that there's much more of a use for it. So I wanted to talk to you guys about some of the things that you might have seen, or some of the ways that you've seen or not, or can suggest for getting theatre out there that's new, exciting, and that might change and revolutionise the theatrical stage, as it were. Excuse the pun. For as we come towards the end of this pandemic.
Well, I think on a small level, certainly for sort of either if you're just wanting to sort of test something out or just for fun, holding sort of like rehearsals for people in your own time. So if you've got a script and you're like, I want to have a go at doing this in future, or you just fancy, having a read through for fun, I think that's a great thing to do, because you can just get your potential cast together, or just a group of friends who miss doing sort of shows, and just having a read through. Like, we've done quite a few together, haven't we, Ben?
Yeah, we've done, God, must have been almost 30 or something now. We've done loads of these shows. And yeah, we've had workshop performances, we've had musicals, we've had plays. Some have worked better than others, is what I'm going to say. But overall, that has been, I say, a much smaller way of and not just doing theatre, but keeping in contact. And for me, meeting people I hadn't met before, because I only knew you, Lucy, and somebody else who introduced me to the group. I didn't know everybody else. So I've met a big long list of people and contacts who now have turned out to be really lovely and supportive and friendly people. So that, I think, as you say, on a smaller scale. I'm trying to think of any digital theatre that I've watched over the lockdown, and I think there's been a real influx in stuff, watching things that I wouldn't normally go and see, because they're available. So not necessarily changing anything or making anything groundbreaking, but the shows must go on YouTube, for example, or Bristol Old Vic at Home. All these different, or National Theatre at Home, all these various schemes that have been really good at putting putting full-length theatrical filmed productions on YouTube for free for 48 hours. And I think for me, it's given me an insight into, take Hairspray, for example. I never knew Hairspray very well. I didn't seen it, never listened to it. I thought, oh, let's give it a go. It happened to be on, watched it, fell in love with it. And now I've put tickets to go and see it next year. So for me, it's been a real insight into things that I wouldn't normally see, because they're normally too expensive or they're not normally around. I go, oh, let's give that a watch and see. But also a wider, diverse range of plays as well. I'm not a massive, I haven't seen a lot of plays, and the stuff that I have seen has normally been in the same vein. So to see something really different, things like I watched, I don't know, either you saw it, I saw Cypress Avenue, that one theatre production had been put up. That was incredible, with Stephen Rhea in the lead. That was brilliant. So things like that were very different, and also point of view.
Also, with like the National Theatre Live, before everything happened, you used to be able to go to the cinema, and they had a schedule for things that we could watch. Now, as a way of supporting themselves, is they've released a subscription. So as a result of all these plays that have come online, have come on YouTube for people to watch, they've now got a yearly subscription where you can choose to watch any of these that you want to watch, which I think is fascinating. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
I think it's great as well, because there's so many people where sort of traveling, I mean, because a lot of time with theatre you've got to sort of travel, and it's a full day, because you'll sort of make an event of it, you'll have dinner, you'll go see the show, and there's so many people where either money or the fact that they can't travel is
Yep.
not an option for them. So I think it's great having this digital alternative where people can still access shows and enjoy it from the comfort of their own home. I think that's a really great thing that has come out of this, that it's more accessible for people.
I'll tell you, I have the first thing really that I've seen that I think that was properly live and was done virtually. I saw the other night actually. I watched Mischief Movie Night In, which is Mischief Theatre Company, and they completely improvise an hour-long movie, and they get the audience to suggest a genre, a character, weird and wacky, wonderful things, awards that the movie might have won, and then they completely improvise it for an hour. Which any of us who've done a little bit of improv will know that's really hard to do. And it was good. It flagged to start with, but it ended up being really quite funny at points, and it was really interesting to see something very different. There was a Zoom participation audience involved, and it was, you can normally go and see it in the theatre, and never did it at the Fringe under a different title. And it was something a little bit different. I've not seen many improvised productions before, but it was a way of diversifying my sort of portfolio of what I've seen.
I listen to like Radio 4 Extra sometimes. I listen to the audio dramas and the things. That makes me sound really old, but they have a lot of new comedy on there, so everything's really. And I love listening to the comedy there, and they've altered the way that so that they can still bring new, like the news quiz, which is literally a weekly quiz based on the things that happen in the week. And they just have, rather than having a full panel of audience members and a panel live, it's all done via, this conferencing stuff. So the audience will sit and they'll watch via, this medium, and the guests will still be zoomed in as well. And that for in terms of budgeting and everything else, that just revolutionizes the whole thing, especially for something like the BBC. We're always out there to make, to save a bit of money. But also, a lot of new, like you say, a lot of new stuff. I mean, Matt Powell, who we had on the show from the first episode.
Yeah, episode 2, wasn't it?
He's pioneered quite a lot of, new theatre and new experiences digitally online, and he's doing very well with that. The difficulty is with a lot of, I feel, a lot of established theatre companies or something like that, they find it difficult to find stuff that integrates with what people want to see. So I'm trying to, again, the thing about theatre sometimes is you want to be in a theatre to be immersed by it. And you can't fully have that if you're sat in your kitchen or your living room or your bedroom watching it on a laptop. So it's. I just wanted to see what what you guys thought in terms of ways that could be improved, or things that you've seen. You just think, oh, that was different. I've never seen it done like that before. Anything that crops to mind?
Interesting. I know we talked about this a lot in the last season of the podcast because we did a lot of plugging for them. But the Playhouse's Panto this year, I'm not sure if either of you two watched it in the end, but I gave it a watch. We watched it over, I think, Christmas Eve, actually, because that's the tradition in my household, is to go and see the Panto for Christmas there. And that, to me, it was a really, really good production, but it did lack something. It lacked, I think, with that, or with the audience connection. They had the sort of the cast, family and friends in the audience, distance and all that fun stuff, but it wasn't quite the same. And they sent out a survey actually afterwards. I think they've published the results at some point, but I answered that. Was a lot of the questions were around, did you find what you're asking, Adam, did you find it to be the same experience? Would you look at doing it in the future? Would you perhaps, if you didn't want to travel to the theatre and it was cheaper, would you perhaps want to have a digital option? So I wonder if perhaps for some audiences, those who can't travel, those who the theatre isn't so much a part of everyday life, like I would say it is for us three, where it's just more of a, this is the Christmas Panto, let's go and spend £20 to watch it from home, because that's better than, or for that particular audience, that's better than going and spending £60-70 to take a family to go and see it. So I think they're considering possibly, this is just from the quiz questionnaire, it's something that could be taken forward to maybe just to widen the catchment of who likes theatre and widening that audience a bit more.
Yeah, it's very different people that you're going to get. So if you are an avid theatre goer, you will, because yes, it's not the same experience, but you know, if you are an avid theatre goer, you go. But at the same time, I've seen some really great sort of productions online, and if they film it well, it feels like you're watching a very good immersive film. So I think sort of with that, it's how you shoot it. So definitely sort of with a lot of things, if you're doing a show, I find it's better if they're either very good with the angles or pre-recording it, so you know you're going to get those kind of angles. So rather than it feeling like you're just sitting in front of a screen, it feels like you're actually watching a film that immerses you in.
I agree with that to some extent, but I have a bit of an issue with theatre productions that film stuff on the stage when they've got like a camera person actually in the ensemble, like walking in the ensemble, and it's edited together. I struggle with that because I don't like that sometimes it's very easy to see beyond the set and beyond out into the wings and things, and I'm like, ugh.
Oh yeah, I don't mean that kind of thing.
But you've got to be careful, because when you're filming things, there's always that sort of, you can get almost too close.
Yeah.
In a way, theatre should be a little bit, I think, sat back and watching, or if you're seeing an immersive production, then yeah, obviously. So I don't like things that feel overly produced, because I think the thing with theatre is it's raw and it's different every night. If you're watching a pre-recorded production that they've shot over 4 weeks and they've done it 7 times and it's an edit of 7 different productions, I always feel like it almost jars a bit for me. I don't know what you two think about that.
A bit stale. Yeah, it's got to be. Yeah, with filming, you've definitely got to get it just right with it. You don't want it to feel a bit too sort of slick, but at the same time, you don't want.
No.
I think I love the fact though that with digital, there's now so many sort of Andram groups that are able to hold sort of virtual concerts and things. Like I've seen quite a few really good, and I think it's a nice way of sort of like supporting your local Andram group.
Yeah, I think. Go on, Lisa. Sorry, carry on. What were you saying?
Also getting like your local talent out there to a wider audience. I think that's a really positive thing to be able to do.
I think you've got pros and cons. I think you've got your professional theatres. I think you need the actual theatres. You need to keep your theatres.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, okay, we need to have them, and you're possibly diluting down the experience a bit from the professional side of views. On the other side, again, like you say, amateur theatres and amateur companies, they're getting a chance to be seen more. You know, conferencing apps, all sorts of things. It's really useful. It's really revolutionary, and it'd be interesting to see if there was something out there that could just unify everybody together and just have the same. Obviously, you can't beat live theatre, but it'd be nice to see tackling different perspectives on the same project based on, you know, distancing and live theatre. But no, I thought it was an interesting topic to cover and just talk about, because obviously in these times people still want to be entertained. So thank you guys. Thanks for talking about that.
I will just add quickly that this was obviously recorded quite a long time ago by the time you're watching this. So if there is anything extra, any other productions that we have seen since and will recommend, I'll pop a list in the description for you to check out. Or if anything changes in regards to protocol or restrictions, whatever, just know this was filmed quite a long time ago.
So thank you guys for having a chat about that. That's given us a bit more to think about. So yeah, I like that. Thank you guys.
That was a great topic.
It's really interesting to talk about.
So I think that's about it for us today. So without further ado, Adam, you've got to go back to your cupboard now.
I'm in the cupboard.
It's in the cupboard.
It's in the cupboard. Oh,
It's already there.
I'm just going to sit here and wave. I'm like, hello.
So, actually, Lucy, just to, because I'm sure you've forgotten it. Adam, would you like to do this week's outro?
Because I've forgotten it as well.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
you're right, Tar. Thanks.
Okay, good.
Because normally you send me in the cupboard.
Yeah, but you're already there this week. We're
already
broadcasting
in the
live from the
cupboard.
cupboard.
I'll just sit and I'll just watch. You do a brilliant job of it without me doing it. So I
Well,
think it's fine.
if you have enjoyed this week's podcast, you can follow us on other social media platforms. So we're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We've also got our YouTube channel if you like to watch us on there. So remember to click that subscribe button, ding that notification bell. We've got two podcasts. We've got two podcast playlists at the minute, one for season 1 and season 2. So if you've not watched season 1, what are you doing here? Check that out. And then come back to season 2. And we also have a Patreon page. So if you want to support us further, that'd be great if you could check us out on there.
Terence likes Patreon.
Yeah, Terence is one of our patrons. He's our only one we currently have at time of
Yeah,
recording.
he likes Patreon. He likes
So that's it from me, Ben, and Adam today. So thank you all. And Terence.
And Terence.
Terence is very excited.
Terence is very excited about that.
Well.
We'll carry on.
Yes, I know, Terence. All right, calm down. Don't eat it. Don't eat it.
Lucy, quickly wrap up before Terence destroys the
Sit down.
podcast.
Terence.
So, from myself, Ben, and Adam, I hope you all stay safe.
Terence.
Thank you so much for listening and supporting us. Take care. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.